Hi, everybody, and welcome to our second Marketplace Monday. I'm your host, Isaiah. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all had a great week since last we spoke. Thanks to everybody that tuned in on ccua.org/live last week to watch our very first CU Marketplace Monday. Thanks to all of our great guests and vendor partners last week that came on the show. And thanks to all of you, credit union decision makers, that logged on to see some amazing new vendors, win some prizes, and ultimately have some fun. We keep these Marketplace Mondays short and sweet, no more than an hour, because let's be serious, everybody's got the Zoom fatigue at this point, right? Everybody's been at home for months, and if we get on one more long-winded call, not a good thing. We keep these short and sweet, but as the CCUA, as the association, it's our responsibility to continue to bring together some of the best and brightest vendors and partners with you, our credit union decision makers, because even though we're working from home, even though times are a little different during this pandemic, business still needs to happen. We've got some great guests coming up on the show today. Pure IT, Comprehensive Benefits Administrators, and Whipfly. We're going to be chatting with them throughout the show. Also giving them a chance to win some prizes with our prize wheel. I'll give you a sneak peek of our prize wheel if you missed the show last time. All of our vendor partners get to win some stuff on the prize wheel. All of our vendor partners that come on also are entered in a drawing to win a 75-inch flat screen TV, which we'll give away at the end of this series. And this series, Marketplace Monday, is called Road to Convention. We're doing these for 9 straight weeks. Very informative, very fun, very quick to the point, so you can get on with your Monday. This Road to Convention is all virtual. We have to do things virtually. Times have changed, right? Our convention will be virtual as well, and registration is now open for our virtual convention, which is coming up. And this year, we're calling it Moving Forward Together. So if you get a chance, visit ccua.org and find out all the information about our virtual convention. Speaking about giving away some prizes, I want to give away a $100 gift card right now. Anybody watching the show, thanks for checking us out at ccua.org. Do me a favor, go into the chat feature. It's right there on the page. And type in your name and what credit union you work for. The fifth person to do that right now wins a $100 gift card thanks to the CCUA. So go onto the chat feature, type in your name and what credit union you work for. The fifth person to do that wins a $100 gift card. All right, we've got a lot of things on the show. Let's get things started. We have 3 people in our virtual green room right now. You guys can unmute your screens. We're talking to some wonderful people at Pure IT, and I've had a chance to chat with these gentlemen for a little bit before the show started. You guys all want to unmute your screen so we can hear you. We've got Xerex out in Tennessee, Gene in Florida, and Steve in Texas. And you folks are with Pure IT Credit Union Services. How's everybody doing? Is everyone good today?
Doing great.
Doing well.
Gene, you're still on mute. We're going to take you off mute because we're going to be asking lots of questions on the show today. You guys basically are all about strategy. I was looking over some notes, and I really like this. If you don't mind me, I'm going to read this. Solutions without strategy are empty. And before you deploy any shiny new solution, take a minute to craft a customized strategic roadmap with an objective, trusted partner. That seems to be the theme. Steve, tell me a little bit about that with Pure IT.
That's right. So, we can't go and just pick up and just implement something. That's one of those things that we have to sit down, figure out what it is that we want to do, put together a strategy for how it is that we're going to get there, and plan for how we get, multiple years down the road for what it is that we're doing. Not just head down to the Home Depot and grab a bunch of lumber and start building our new shiny technology object. We have to, put a strategy together and know where it is that we're going and what we're going to do and what the business could be like and what things could change. Because you never know when you're going to have a pandemic that you need to have planned for, and try to figure out how your business is going to change and what's going to happen in those kind of situations as well, so that you're ready for whatever might come at you.
We're talking with a great panel from Pure IT Credit Union Services. Steve's joining us. Gene is on the line, and also Xerex. Cool name, Xerex. What kind of name is Xerex?
Thank you. It's Persian. So.
Xerex. And the only reason I knew how to pronounce the X is because I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, and we have Xander Bogaerts. So at least I'm looking at the page going, I know it's a Z sound.
Yep.
Do me a favor, Xerex. Talk to me a little bit about some of these solutions that you and your team at Pure IT provide for the credit union people.
Yeah, absolutely. So once we have a chance to chat with everyone and develop a strategic vision and determine what the goals are, We then identify technologies that can specifically help the credit union attain those goals, whether it be through software-defined networking, through SD-WAN solutions, through VDI. I mean, the list goes on, and that's really kind of what we bring to the table, is the ability to custom tailor technologies that will help the credit unions ultimately achieve where they want to go faster.
That's great. Thank you for that. Talking with the panel at Pure IT Credit Union Services. Gene is joining us from Florida. Gene, I love the nickname. Gene, the security machine. So apparently you know a little bit about security, Gene, I'm thinking? I don't think Gene can hear us.
He knows a lot about security, just maybe not so much about Zoom meetings. I don't know.
All right, that's good. He knows how to keep everybody else out of Zoom, including himself. That's all right. Talk a little bit about, Steve, I want to go around the room here. We have some acronyms that I was given, and these are acronyms that you obviously know what they mean at Pure IT Credit Union Services, and you believe that all the IT people at the credit unions should also know what these acronyms are, correct, Steve?
That's right. These are things that are important for us within our business. Although sometimes we break things into TLAs. That's a 3-letter acronym. So when it gets to be too long, we have to figure out how it is to shorten it so we can say it a lot easier.
I've got a couple of acronyms here, so I'm gonna quiz you and make sure you know what these acronyms mean. Steve, let's start with you. ARM.
ARM. What's an ARM? I'm not sure what that one is.
Wow. Wow, your own team is stumping you from the beginning.
Yeah.
How about VDI?
VDI. I'll let Xerex talk about that one.
Yeah. So VDI is just virtual desktop infrastructure, and that is something that we feel very strongly that all credit unions should be shooting for as part of their strategy. And this pandemic that we're going through right now is exactly a specific example as to why VDI would be so helpful to credit unions. Imagine, if you would, where you can take your physical desktops and turn them into a virtual desktop infrastructure that allows you then to work from anywhere securely. But more importantly, what you can actually do with that technology is take it to where your members are or where you hope to gain additional membership. So it allows you to kind of take that technology to where your members are.
Great. Talking to the Pure IT Credit Union Services team. This is our spotlight interview. Gene, can you hear us now? Nope. Gene can't hear us. That's all right. Oh, you can. No, you can't hear us? That's okay. Steve, we're going to throw out another acronym. Maybe you'll get this one. Gene, sure. How about CISO?
CISO, so CISO. So and we can actually have the discussion. So Gene always pronounce it as CISO, and every now and then we'll find people who will pronounce it as CISO. But because Gene is the one who actually wrote the CISO book, so that actually discusses what a CISO is, what the model is, what it is that you do in that job. I always go with the way he pronounces it as CISO, but that's the Chief Information Security Officer. So somebody in the organization whose job it is to make sure that the security posture of the organization is mature and continues to stay that way and continues to mature, who's actually watching, what the process and the people are doing within those things, making sure that you're mentoring and that you're building that culture of being secure and being aware of what's going on. Because in the security world, we're playing defense. When you're playing defense, you have to be right 100% of the time, whereas right. the offense only has to be right, once. So we're just trying to make sure that we're keeping that culture that we need to, and that's what the CISO's job is.
Thank you, Steve. Talking to the panel at Pure IT Credit Union Services. They're our spotlight interview, our panel today. We're learning about the IT world. Xerex, talk to me a little bit about there's a lot of credit union decision makers watching right now, and if they could have one takeaway from your point of view, what is it that Pure IT Credit Union Services can provide to these credit union decision makers?
Yeah, I think what we can provide is kind of what I touched on before, is that we have the ability to work with you to identify some gaps, some challenges, some issues that not only your members might be facing, but as well as internal staff. And then by helping you and guiding you on selecting those technologies, we can actually take it a step further where we understand that as a process of introducing new technology, there could be a potential skills gap, or there's time that's needed to get trained up on certain technologies. And that's something that Pure IT can assist you with is hey, don't let the fact that you don't understand these technologies inside and out hold you back from accomplishing these goals. Instead, you can leverage Pure IT as that, quasi, in between layer that we can actually manage and maintain these environments that we build for you, while at the same time, you may say, hey, I want to get my people trained up, or you could come back and say, hey, look, I just don't want to be in this game at all. I don't want to be in the infrastructure game anymore. But at the same time, you need it. It's a necessary evil, right? You have to have it to do business these days.
Xerex, do me a favor. Give me the website where anybody watching can learn more about Pure IT.
Yep. Just head on over to pureitcuso.com.
pureitcuso.com. pureitcuso.com. We are joined by a panel of experts in the IT space today for our spotlight on our second Marketplace Monday. This is Pure IT Credit Union Services. Xerex is in Tennessee. Gene is down in Florida, and Steve is in Texas. Gene, who just gave me the thumbs up, nicknamed Gene, the Security Machine. Gene, talk about the two books that you've literally written. What are these books about?
Well, the first one is just lessons learned. It's called The Journey. It's how did I get into all the trouble I'm in today. It's the dozen or so rules I came up with as I worked in the industry the last 30 years. And now I'm doing just shorter selected books on resilience, on, whatever the regulators are talking about, incident response, those kinds of things. The idea behind it is to get input from credit unions, right? The people who live by this, and bring stories in, not just technology.
So Gene Fredriksen, he's down in Florida. Gene, the Security Machine is the nickname. He's the principal cybersecurity consultant. Wrote two books, Incident Response and 2020 Cyber Vision. We actually have a couple of copies of these books to give away, and we're going to use the chat feature again for those of you watching on ccua.org/live. Go to the chat box. The first two people that type in their names and what credit union they work for, you will get a copy. Each of you will get a copy of one of Gene's books. Gene, you're down in Florida. Talk to me about the pandemic in Florida. It's in the news a lot. How's Florida responding these days?
Well, Florida's responding well. It's, primarily the bottom third of the state. That's, where there's a lot of people, other than, some problems Clearwater had during break. It's been pretty reasonable in the rest of the state.
Good. And you're healthy, you're happy, everybody in your circle is good? I'll go with yes. Steve, you're out in Tennessee. You're thumbs up to good health. Steve, you're in Tennessee. Yeah. So I'm trying to make the point that this whole Pure IT team is spread out between Tennessee and Florida and Texas. Actually, Steve, you're in Texas. Talk to me about how things with the pandemic are going in the state of Texas.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as what Gene is talking about. When you get large population centers, I'm actually in Houston, so then you have a lot more that's going on, but still with the city, we have an area here that's 6 or 7 million people. There's a fairly high numbers, but it's still it's a low enough percentage within things. So businesses are still running. We're running at a lower capacity than a lot of things, and we're all working from home, which is helping out a lot in different things. Restaurants are still running, but they're, keeping it at 50% capacity. A lot more outdoor things that are going on, which can get hard, at 100 degrees and 100% humidity, which we have here. So, got to deal with that. But it's moving along. Business is starting to come back around, and we're going from there.
Good. And you're healthy, you're happy, everybody in your circle is good?
Yep, doing great here.
And we have a little extra from Steve, the VP Professional Services. Show us the slippers, Steve.
All right,
come on now, we're live.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. I'm wearing my bunny slippers here at home. Wearing my bunny slippers, but I'm dressed from the waist up. That's all you have to have for a Zoom meeting.
Everyone. Yeah.
This is the world that we live in now. We have, we've got a nice shirt on, but then you're wearing shorts, and Steve from Pure IT is wearing
cargo shorts and bunny slippers. That's the way.
Wearing bunny slippers. Hey, Gene, now that you're back online, I'm going to throw an acronym at you. and you're going to tell me what this means in the credit union space. Gene, what does IRP mean?
Incident response plan. So it's when the worst hope happens, that you hope you never does, right? But it's all the things you pre-thought through, pre-staged, the messages to your members, all that, documented and tested and rehearsed, so that, in the credit union business, we're all about maintaining the trust of our members. And a good IRP plan goes a long ways there.
Talking with the team at Pure IT Credit Union Services. They're our spotlight interview for our second Marketplace Monday. Gene, Xerex, and Steve. Xerex is in Tennessee. Talk about what's happening in Tennessee. How's the world with the pandemic in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, but it's actually not too bad. I mean, obviously, like Memphis and Nashville are probably the heaviest hit. But aside from that, the rest of the state looks pretty good. I mean, businesses are pretty much still open. Masks are a policy on a county by county basis, and ultimately everything's going pretty good, I think.
And you're good. Everybody in your circle is safe and happy and healthy.
Yep. A little stir crazy, from being pent up, but we're doing all right.
Are you wearing slippers or shoes?
Neither. I am barefoot.
Gene, how about you? Slippers or shoes?
Barefoot.
Oh!
Yes. This is Florida, man. Come on.
Exactly. This is great. Well, listen, the purpose of this, gentlemen, is to, as the CCUA, it is our responsibility, even though we can't gather and we can't do, the handshaking and nice to meet you and do business, it's still our responsibility to provide the platform so that industries like yours can get in front of our decision makers, and they're all watching. And I want to thank you for coming on Pure IT Credit Union Services. Steve, you want to give out the website one more time where everybody can find out more about Pure IT?
Sure, you can head on over to Pure IT CUSO, so pureitcuso.com, and be able to check out our website there.
Now, you folks, because you are a valued vendor partner of ours, you're automatically entered into a drawing that we'll do at the end of Road Convention for a 75-inch flat screen TV. I don't know which one of you gets it. If you win, that's for you to figure out. Yeah, everyone puts their hand up because they want to win, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Jack.
And also, because you're on the show, you get to spin the prize wheel, and there are 3 of you, so each of you will have a swing at it. Gene, Mr. Barefoot down there in Florida, you go first. Ready?
Yep, ready.
Here we go. $50 gift cards, $25 gift cards, and Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. And you get a Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Boom. All right, we're going to
right.
go another barefoot. Xerex out there in Tennessee, you ready, buddy?
All right, big money, no whammy.
No whammies, no whammies. I don't think I didn't put whammies on the screen. Another Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Hey-o. Or that could stand for Dungeons and Dragons if you're a geek. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Steve, you ready?
I'm ready. I want to spin it. Here
we go. Playing along at home. What do we have for win? $25 gift card.
Whoa.
There we go. Big money, no whammies. This is great. Well, listen, I really appreciate you folks taking the time. We've got Steve, we've got Xerex, and we've got Gene. They are all part of Pure IT Credit Union Services. Do me a favor, Gene, what's the website one more time everybody can go find you folks at?
It's pureitcuso.com.
I really appreciate you coming on the show. Be safe. Have a good time out there. Enjoy the rest of your week, but thanks for coming on Marketplace Monday, gentlemen.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. We've got some more coming up on the show. We have another $100 Visa gift card to give away to you credit union decision makers. We're also going to play the mystery clue game. I've got our second clue. And if you don't know about this, well, if you've been watching, we started last week, and each Marketplace Monday, I give away a mystery clue. And at the end of Road to Convention, if you gather up all the clues and you get the mystery phrase or sentence or word, you go in a drawing to win $2,000 in cash. So lots of prizes, lots of great guests, lots of great vendors. We'll be back on Marketplace Monday coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
We're the Credit Union Webinar Network. We partner with CCUA to provide webinars made exclusively for credit unions. We offer interactive live webinars, recorded webinars with unlimited access to anyone in your credit union, and plenty of options to stretch your training budget. And the best part? A portion of every registration goes right back to CCUA, helping them fulfill their mission of bringing cooperative power to credit unions in Delaware, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. Check us out at bit.ly/CCUA webinars and use coupon code CCUA20 for $20 off any webinar. Have a great conference.
Welcome back, everybody. This is our second virtual CU Marketplace Monday. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I'm very happy to be speaking with Mike McKenna now. He's the managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, part of Alera now. Mike, thanks so much for joining us on Marketplace Monday.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Look, everything's changed. I mean, talk about, were you thinking we would be doing a virtual interview on, let's say, New Year's Eve when you yelled Happy New Year's?
There's a lot I didn't anticipate in 2020, but yeah, that would be correct. No clue that this was coming.
No, I mean, normally for Marketplace, we get together at the DCU Center. Unfortunately, we can't do that because of COVID-19. So we're doing this series called Marketplace Monday. We're really calling it the Road to Convention. Unfortunately, we can't do our convention, so we're going to have a virtual version of our Cooperative Credit Union Association convention. Registration is now open for that as well on ccua.org. So we wanted to take an opportunity to still, it's our responsibility as a credit union association to match our vendors like yourself with our decision makers. We've got close to 200 credit unions throughout Delaware, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And it's our job to take care of both sides. We're supposed to make sure that all the members are given opportunities to meet with people like yourself, and we're supposed to make sure people like yourself have that stage to talk to our membership base. So, we're really excited to be doing this format. It's casual. We're talking. We're not going to do long presentations. There's something to be said for Zoom fatigue, for sure. Nobody wants to be on a virtual call forever. So we try to keep these to about an hour, and we're really happy to have you on board. Mike McKenna, the managing partner, owner of CBA Companies, part of Alera. I want to talk a little bit about how the lockdown and how COVID-19 has affected your business and your life. Talk about how things have changed for you over the past few months.
The biggest change has been the realization that you have to embrace technology, and you have to be able to deliver as a business, what you're supposed to deliver without missing a beat. And that's tough to do. We're we're a service business, and to be able to have that immediate, communication with clients' needs is critical. And with that, we kind of went through a metamorphosis, so to speak. We are obviously well engaged with our clients, but that had to take place after really a immersion in different technologies that some of us just were not that familiar with. And also you had to get creative. We had to use our creativity relative to how to deliver what we're supposed to deliver to our clients. And that was interesting. But also as an employer, how to keep our employees safe and their family members safe, and do that with social distancing and the right type of mask and things like that. So I think I'm like everybody. It's just, I don't really like the term, but the new norm, the new normal, there's a lot of truth to that. We have to find that new normal and be comfortable with it very quickly, just like everybody. So it's technology, it's communication, it's workplace health, stress reduction techniques, things like that. So we've been in the game.
I'm glad you mentioned stress reduction. I mean, there are so many elements to what's happened to society since late February, early March that, yes, there's business. Yes, there are personal things. Yes, there are individual things, regional, local, national things, global things. But the stress that puts on people, the stress that your life has changed and you're at home 24 hours a day now. You and your kids may be home together. You and siblings may be together. Yeah. Kids didn't get to graduate high school or college, or again, you're trying to figure out what to do with your employees, your coworkers to keep them safe, on top of doing what your company does to keep the needle moving to stay in business. So it's good that you mentioned that, and it's good to hear that you do that. And everyone we've talked to so far on the show, has a grasp on, or not a grasp, but they certainly are aware of it's more than just the day-to-day function. It's how do I feel mentally? Do I take a stress break? Do I meditate? Do I take a day off? Do I literally shut my phone off and just say, no, I need to zone out, not watch the news, because that doesn't help anybody, but just go get lost in Netflix somewhere. We finally have sports back, so we can, zone out and watch a sports game. So it's good that you say that, because that's important. That the health of our friends and family and our coworkers is the number one thing, because if we don't have that, we've got no business.
That's right. And it's a whole myriad of new issues that our employees' families are facing. Just like you said, they're not graduating the way that they had anticipated. They're home early from college. They're remote learning, and quite frankly, what's come up both with my customers, but also internally here. It's difficult to have a 15, 16-year-olds, 9-year-old, whatever, cooped up for months on end. They want to be with their friends. They need to interact. There's that whole social dimension to this. So it's very, very trying time right now.
It is. It really is. We're talking with Mike McKenna, the managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, part of Alera. Now, for the past 15 years, almost 15 years, some of you watching our credit union decision makers probably know Mike McKenna as the owner of CBA Companies, and you just recently sold to Alera. Talk to me about why you sold, and second part of that question, how is that going to benefit the credit unions moving forward with your company?
Yeah, it was, it's funny. It was my baby, so it was hard to come to the decision, but it was the right decision. So I sold my company. I had 7 offers from the national firms. I chose Alera because of their entrepreneurial vision of where they wanted to go as a company, but also their commitment to collaboration among all of the 90 plus firms that they've purchased over the last few years. And I'm really getting that sense. So, one of the reasons why I think this is a good discussion is, it allows me to, tell people that I haven't talked to in a while why I did it. Benefits tough. Compliance, the HR person, the HR professional, is responsible for so many more things than they were even 10 or 15 years ago. And the broker is a pivotal part of that. So really part of it was a pragmatic piece. I need to stay relevant to my clients. I want to grow my business. And the reality is, you don't keep 100% of your clients, but, what you have to do is you have to be honest with where the market's going, what resources are being made available and need to be made available. And that's very, very hard I didn't have a small company. I had 50 employees and a $10 million shop. But now I'm part of a group that has 2,000 employees, and we're doing almost $500 million of revenue. So what it allows credit unions to have access to now are, I have an HR technology group, all compliance, just a technology group that their sole purpose is to fit the right technology into payroll, compliance, absence management, all of that. And these are world-class employees. These are people that have worked for the big consulting houses, and I have access to them. But it's also, the reality is I needed to find a better expertise because insurance companies aren't giving the credit unions any breaks from a rate perspective. So I needed more horsepower because understanding that the loyalty among insurance companies is really to their provider community rather than the employer groups. I needed a different level of advocacy. Long story short, I have actuaries, I have underwriters. Some of our clients are brand name clients that you would know, like Boston College, and Facebook is a client of ours. With that, and I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that level of expertise now is needed in the small to mid-sized marketplace that credit unions now reside.
Right. No, that's great. That's good to hear. I mean, it's always scary when people sell companies or merge because you just don't know. It sounds like you, as someone who took your baby for almost 15 years, you feel comfortable that taking it. We're talking with Mike McKenna, by the way, managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, now a part of Alera. You now give credit unions access to bigger things. There are almost 200 credit unions inside this association of ours, small, medium, and large. So the fact that you're able to give them, like you mentioned HR a few times, you talk about health insurance savings. There are so many pieces to the puzzle that a customer, a member that comes into a credit union doesn't think about. I'm just looking about where do I put my money? Can I get a loan? Can I send the kid to college? These days, are you even open? Do I wear a mask in the store? Okay, this is behind the scenes stuff that the decision makers need to say, our HR world is so much different than it was a few years ago. When it pertains to healthcare, it's a completely different story, Mike, than it was 6 months ago, let alone 6 years ago. So talking with Mike McKenna, the managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, part of the Alera team now, let's talk about the health insurance savings. How has that changed? I mean, with COVID-19 and just what's happening, healthcare was already a bumpy roller coaster. How is it these days, Mike?
With COVID, you would think, okay, well, claims are up. Well, that's actually not the case. What's happened was all of the elective surgeries and elective procedures and outpatient visits have been, were canceled, were postponed. So all of a sudden, there's very few claims running through our system. So you would think, hey, great, I get a break on my health insurance. What's happening is the insurance companies are saying, we have trend to deal with, but we're going to see those claims at some point, and it's going to double up at a later point. So there's this big struggle on who's right, who's wrong, how much do the rates have to go out, or do they need a break? And depending on who you ask, you get a very different answer. But you have to have the expertise to be able to, from an actuarial standpoint, predict actually what is going to happen. And the truth is somewhere in the middle.
That sounds a lot like what's happening in the world today with a number of issues.
Yeah.
The right hand says one thing, the left hand says the other thing. People don't get along, they argue. We had a few guests on our first Marketplace Monday last week. One was Dr. Nicholas Argy, and he was kind of giving us the state of the union of where we are with COVID-19. And I call him Dr. Common Sense because the things he was saying were just basic common sense. If we could stop fighting and arguing, it's the same thing in the health insurance world. Better than anybody. Everybody's arguing, and when that happens, everybody must just feel like kids with parents who are getting divorced. If mommy and daddy could just stop fighting, I'm hungry. Feed me.
That's right. Dr. Augie is great. Dr. Augie works for Alera.
Does he? Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
He is part of that group. He was an excellent speaker. He's done a lot with the CCUA, and he just said it like it is. And he says, look, there's no political so-and-so. I said, well, how about if Dr. Common Sense runs for president in 2020? And he laughed. Yeah, he's good people. Talking with Mike McKenna, managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, part of Alera. Tell me personally, how has it been for you over the past, do you have kids? Where do you live? How is your world? Are you safe? Is everything okay in your world?
Yeah, everything's great. I live on the South Shore. I live in Norwell. I have married and 3 kids. The biggest thing has been, my 16-year-old, wanting to be with his friends. I have a sophomore in college going into a junior year at Elon in North Carolina. So she had to finish out her semester, and it's still kind of we don't really know exactly 100% what's going to happen in the fall semester, although we're getting closer to that answer. And my middle guy, I have a severely disabled child in the middle, and he's a residential student at the New England Center for Children in Southborough. And I wasn't able to, he was quarantined. I wasn't able to see him from the beginning up until about a week ago. So that has been the biggest obstacle for me. But you know what it is? In times like this, though, everybody has their thing, I guess, right? And what I'm doing is I'm kind of coming out of this with a sense of gratitude. I know it sounds a little hokey, but the teachers at the New England Center who cared for Michael and took the hit, but that's in every facet of life. Everybody is stepping up. And sometimes it's like, you're like left hand to right hand, and you can use it. Sometimes we got to step back and be appreciative for what we have. Understand that most of us have our wits about us. This is temporary, and for in many areas, it's really brought out the best in people, and we have to take a minute and feel gratitude about that. Gratitude for your customers, gratitude for the caregivers in our lives, gratitude for those who are helping with our children's schooling, everything. So that's kind of how it's affecting me right now.
No, I could not agree with you more, Mike. That is the best way to look at it. We have to take a minute. We have to be thankful for what we have, and we really do just need to. There is a great deal of gratitude. There really is. There are some. Here's the thing: shut the media off, because that's just noisy, and focus on what's around you and your children and your family and your customers. You control what you can control, and slowly but surely your bubble will get bigger again. Your circle will get bigger again. But you got to go back to the basics, and you got to just take care of yours. So I'm really glad to hear that's happening. I'm glad that your kids are well. I'm glad that you got a chance to see your son. I'm sure that was a long window of missing him, but you said you got to see him a week ago. I'm sure he was thrilled, and I'm sure your family was thrilled.
Yeah, everything's good now.
Good. Well, listen, we had a chance to talk to Mike McKenna, the managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, part of Valera, HR services, health insurance savings. How do we get a hold of you? How do the folks that are watching the show right now, Mike, get a hold of you directly?
Best place to reach me is probably my cell phone. Really, it's 774-249-1119. 774-249-1119 is always the best number to get me.
Good, and certainly all of our team at the CCUA knows exactly who you are and how to get a hold of you. So anybody can email us, and we'll make sure that we connect the dots. A couple of bonus pieces for you being on the show. All of our vendors and partners coming on. Everybody's name goes into a drawing for a 75-inch flat screen TV. So if you win that, maybe you can watch some Red Sox games back on TV, right?
Let's hope so.
And we also have another little game here. Everybody gets to spin the prize wheel. Here we go. Now we've got $50 gift cards, $25 gift cards, and some free Dunkin' Donuts cards. Ready, Mike?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Here we go. Come on. It's the prize wheel. Oh, he gets a free spin. Spin number 2. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
There we go. One of these days, I'm going to knock that over. It's like Wheel of Fortune. Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
I'll take that. Wonderful.
Lovely. I love it. So you've got yourself a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. You are qualified for that 75-inch flat screen TV. And more importantly, Mike, I'm glad that you got a chance to come on our first, it's actually our second Marketplace Monday, and you were able to talk to me, share some stories with me. I know that there are hundreds of people watching the episode now, so I'm hoping that you can do some business with these decision makers. It's our job to keep you connected with our membership and keep our membership connected with fine folks like you. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You got it. Mike McKenna, managing partner and owner of CBA Companies, now part of Valera. We are going to take a break, and we will be back. We are going to have another special guest, and we have some more games to play. We're actually going to be giving people a chance to play our mystery game coming up. We'll be back on Marketplace Monday right after this.
OCTANT Business Services, LLC is a business lending CUSO that has been working with credit unions since 2005. OCTANT provides credit unions an array of commercial lending services. These include underwriting, loan servicing and credit administration, as well as program implementation support and training. With our clients focused on borrower-facing activities and OCTANT focused on underwriting and credit administration, the result is a cost-effective, regulatory compliant, and successful commercial lending program. This collaborative model has proven successful over the last 15 years, as evidenced by OCTANT surpassing the $1 billion threshold in loans underwritten in 2019. More recently, OCTANT helped its clients process more than 1,200 PPP loans, bringing over $25 million in needed capital to local small businesses. If your credit union would like to explore the possibility of beginning a business lending program or would benefit from outsourcing some of its commercial lending work, please contact us at info@octant.us. Thank you, and enjoy the CCUA's first virtual marketplace experience.
Your wish to have a gaming computer was granted? What do you think?
Firemen are dropping the package from way up high.
Okay, we're back on Marketplace Monday, and I'm excited to be talking with Allison Herrick. She is a partner at Whipfly. That is a CPA and consulting firm, and I have a note here. They are the preferred audit partner of the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Allison, thanks for joining us on Marketplace Monday.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, I notice, are you at the office or are you at home?
I am at the office today. I came back a couple of weeks ago when they allowed some of us to come back. I took the opportunity. So I'm pretty close to the office. So
you're not wearing sweatpants or slippers today, or have kids for the video, or no pets around?
Well, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, no, I don't. I was able to put on real clothes today.
Adult clothes?
Yes, I was able to even button my pants. So that
small victories.
Yeah, I thought though I never caught the COVID-19, I thought I may have gained the COVID-19.
I think that's a real thing. I think they're calling it the COVID-19 pounds, and I'm not there, but if I keep going this way, I'm going to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, we started out with a lot of baking and cooking challenges the first couple of months.
Good. That and the not the Lion King, the Tiger King.
Tiger King, yep.
Wow.
We did watch that as well.
I can't unsee that show. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Allison Herrick joining us, and you're a partner at Whipfly. And tell us a little bit about the company. So it's a CPA and consulting firm. So as part of Marketplace Monday, we have tons of credit union decision makers watching this broadcast. So tell us about your business and why we should look to you for the services you provide.
Sure. Many of you know that know us as the CPA firm, that where we do lots of different kinds of audits. We can do financial statement audits, supervisory committee audits, as well as internal auditing and compliance and IT auditing. So basically, any auditing function, that's we do that. But one area that we've been really just growing over the years is on the consulting side. I mean, I feel like I'm always learning new things and new services and new expertise, from my fellow colleagues here in the firm. It's amazing. I mean, we're a firm. I should start with. I came on board part of a New England firm that merged with Whipley back in 2018, and our philosophies, our values align very well. We're a big firm, but we have a small firm feel. We have the resources of a big firm. Like I said, always learning new things about what we can offer. So the consulting side has really grown. We do many different things, from like operational reviews, looking at, efficiencies and improvements in various, operations. We have a whole group that works on mergers and acquisitions, so anything merger related, due diligence as well as valuation. We have fraud services. Unfortunately, fraud does exist and will continue to exist, so sometimes those services are needed.
Oh, it exists even more now in the COVID era with people being at home. I mean, these
Right.
criminals are really targeting people at home at a higher level, and credit unions. I can speak for the Cooperative Credit Union Association with our CU Senior Safeguard program. It's a priority, and it's a super hyper priority now. So to know that that Whipley focuses on that, I mean, that's really important for the credit union decision makers to know about.
Yeah. A lot of our forensic services do more like internal fraud, but then we also have the cybersecurity side and social engineering. We do those kinds of, we offer those kinds of services. That's where that would come into play, on the member side. It's funny you just mentioned that. I actually, just before the call, I saw on my emails, just my Hotmail account, that, yes, I have a Hotmail account, that I had gotten an email that made it look like that I had ordered something off Amazon Prime.
Wow.
And it said oh, you just ordered this $2,000 computer. It will be shipped in a couple of days. And then it says, if you didn't order this, call this number. Well, I mean,
that's the bait.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh man, they're getting pretty good. And I can see somebody seeing that and just jumping on that call. And definitely there's been an increase of those types of phishing scams, especially when people are at home. They feel more comfortable. Their guards are down. So it's even more important to be doing those, social engineering tests and keeping people, unfortunately, we have to all be professionally skeptical.
Allison, why don't you go ahead and tell me about some additional services that Whipley provides?
Sure. As I mentioned, there are, a few services. Some of the services that we get asked a lot, whether it's because the states or the NCUA is looking for it, or the credit union themselves are looking for it, or validations. Lots of validation requests, whether it's ALM models or BSA, suspicious activity monitoring models. We get a lot of requests on those types of validations. Some other services are commercial loan risk rating reviews. That's something that we actually, as the old firm, didn't do, but now we do that under Whipley, which has been great. And the other one is around HR benefits. We do a lot of work with, looking at the organizational structure, as well as looking at benefit plans and 5500 preparation. So some of those things, a lot of times they don't think of us when it comes to HR or 5500 preparation, because they think, oh, well, they're just credit unions or, financial institutions. But yeah, we have this whole other department that can help out on HR needs.
We're talking with Allison Herrick. She's a partner at Wipfli, a CPA and consulting firm, the preferred audit partner of the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Talk about business during this pandemic. I mean, everything's changed for everybody. The way we behave personally, professionally, with our kids, with our families, with who we can see, who we can't see. I mean, there isn't one human on this planet that hasn't been affected by this pandemic. How has that been in your personal and professional life? I mean, what's different in your world?
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a lot of changes that have been made. Some good, actually, and obviously some on the negative side. I mean, when this all came about, there was a lot of scrambling around from everybody. Okay, we got to even just the logistics of setting up at home and making sure you have the right spaces and enough internet, especially with your kids playing Xbox and watching Netflix all day and TikTok, whatnot. But one of the things that I thought was really a positive right from the beginning is, okay, we were always on the go. People are on the go all the time. And it was kind of nice to be able to have the opportunity to slow down and really reprioritize. And what comes to light from all of this is what those important things are. So it kind of, you were able to slow down and maybe in your personal life and spend more time with family and whatnot. But from a business standpoint, it also sped up and really highlighted the things that are really important.
Sure.
And some of those things that, our credit unions as well as us, that we have maybe for strategic plans and things that we needed to be focusing on maybe changed or, really highlighted, like technology and mobile and everything's being done online and how can we do things, remotely. So, I mean, it definitely reprioritized, a lot of organizations as well as, just, gave you some opportunity to kind of reflect.
Right. There's been a lot of reflecting and a lot of pivoting, I feel like, over the past number of months. Talking with Allison Herrick, she's a partner at Wipfli, the CPA and consulting firm, the preferred audit partner of the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Every vendor that comes on the show gets to spin the prize wheel. Do you want to spin the prize wheel?
I'd love to.
Let's see if technology works here. We're going to do this. Now I have to get up and play Vanna White. Hold on. Ready? Okay. We have some Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, $50 Visa gift cards, $25 Visa gift cards, and then free spins, so nobody loses.
Nice. Okay, so I just tell you to stop, or it just stops. There we go.
Boom. Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, hold on. I'm supposed to have sound effects here. Can you hear the sound effects? See. That's the kind of production we're doing here on the on Marketplace Monday.
I think that was clapping.
Those. It was. Can you hit clapping?
Sounds or opening of a bag of chips or something.
I think a little of both. See, we don't have a live audience. We have to do it one-on-one. We have to do it over a ring call, but it's great. Listen, Allison Herrick, she's a partner at Wipfli, the CPA and consulting firm. Tell us how we can get a hold of you, the people that are watching right now. What's the fastest way I can get a hold of you if I was a credit union decision maker so that we can start talking about some of the CPA work you do, some of the consulting work you do, some of the auditing work you do? How do I get a hold of you, Allison, or anybody on your team?
Oh, sure. I mean, to get a hold of me is, you can reach me on my email, allison.herrick@wipfli.com. You can reach me on my direct line, my office number, my cell phone number. It's 207-523-3346 is my office number, or 207-807-2437 is my cell. Also, reach out to the association. If you want to reach out to us, you can go through the association and they know how to find us.
Being the preferred audit partner of the CCUA, we have your number.
Yes, exactly. So, those are probably the best ways of reaching me.
Well, we appreciate the time today. Allison Herrick, the partner at one of the partners at Whipley, a CPA and consulting firm, and again, the preferred audit partner of the CCUA. Thanks for taking the time coming on Marketplace Monday. I hope you and your family are safe, and I really hope there's a vaccine soon and we can all get back together. And this is all road to convention, so maybe sooner than later we're all back in the same room together, Allison.
Sounds good. Well, you take care as well.
And I'll make sure Dean sends you your $50.
Oh.
See, I just said $50. Now we better send you a $50 Dunkin' Donuts card. Awesome.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Allison. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes on Marketplace Monday.
CEO of the Year.
Do you know someone who is making a difference by their personal embrace of the credit union system and its values and principles? Come on, we all have heroes, those credit union legends among us who set examples for all to follow. Then why not nominate that person for one of CCUA's Awards of Excellence? Professional of the Year, CEO of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, and Hall of Fame Career Achievement. The nomination process is easy as 1, 2, 3. So what's stopping you? Just get your nomination to us before the deadline, Thursday, September 3rd. For more information, visit our website, ccua.org. And we'll be sure to look for your hero in the winner's circle.
Meet Bob and Sally. Each of them has just chosen a partner to help with vendor management. Let's see how things go. To start off, Sally just took the morning and uploaded all her existing vendor contracts and authorization letters to Maple Street. Then, got back to helping customers. Bob didn't do that. Bob spent 2 days on software training and loading his vendor list instead. Poor Bob. Here, we see Sally having a quick meeting with Maple Street. They've risk ranked all her vendors, so all she has to do is sign off on it and she's off to lunch. Bob didn't do that either. Bob spent all week using the software to risk rank his vendors himself. Poor Bob. Anyway, here's Sally and her team getting trained by Maple Street on recommended procedure updates and best practices for vendor management. And Bob? Yeah, Bob didn't do that either. He spent the last 3 weeks trying to get vendor information and doing all the due diligence reviews himself. Poor Bob. And here's Sally reviewing the final strategic vendor plan where Maple Street has already analyzed their contracts and expenses. They've identified places where she's spending too much, and now she's turning them loose to get that money back right before she heads back out to help customers. And this is Sally sharing the news that Maple Street just reduced their vendor expenses by $600,000. Bob? You still in there, Bob? Never mind. Bob didn't save anything anyway. He did end up compliant, but it sure did cost him. Poor Bob. Don't be Bob. You're making an investment. Shouldn't you get a return? Call Maple Street today.
And welcome back to the second Marketplace Monday. I'm your host, Isaiah. I want to thank all of our guests for being on the show today. Thanks to the panel team over at Pure IT, Steve, Xerex, and Gene for checking in. Steve, Xerex, and Gene all spread around the country. Pure IT, great company. Thanks for coming on. We actually have some winners because Gene wrote 2 cyber-related books, 2020 Cyber Vision and another book. And we actually had Kelly from New Bedford Credit Union. She won one of those books. and also Marty from Brotherhood Credit Union. Thanks for watching the show. You each won one of Gene's books from Pure IT. Also, thanks to Mike from CBA Companies, part of Alera Group now, for coming on the show, and also Allison Herrick, our last guest we just talked to from Whipfly. We've got a whole nother slew of great guests next Monday for our next Marketplace Monday. Keep in mind, I keep these things to an hour max. Maybe we go over a little bit. It's just after 11 o'clock now, so we're going to wrap up this edition. I want to give away another $100 gift card, though. So you're still watching the show. Go back into the chat feature on the screen there. Type in your name and what credit union you work at. I'm looking for the 10th person that pops up on our list now. The 10th person on the chat. Write your name and the credit union you work at, and you win a $100 Visa gift card. Also, I don't want to forget our mystery clue game. We're doing 9 of these Marketplace Mondays, and I give out a clue each week. So hopefully you got last week's clue. If you didn't, you can go watch the first episode at ccua.org. And right there on the homepage, you can watch last week's episode. Gather all the clues. If you get them all and you submit the mystery, maybe we'll call it word or phrase, you are in the running for $2,000 in cash. This week's clue, A-D. A-D. A-D is your clue. So write that down. Again, thanks to everybody. Don't forget, virtual convention. This is the road to convention. And this year, moving forward together, our convention will be held virtually October 14th through the 16th, and registration is now open. So go to ccua.org and register for this year's Moving Forward Together convention, October 14th through the 16th. Of course, on ccua.org, you can also find out the agenda for next week's Marketplace Monday. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Walt Laskows, our executive producer and vice president of communications at the Cooperative Credit Union Association. He's the man behind the curtain. This whole thing wouldn't happen without you, Walter. Thank you. And thanks to everybody out there, all of our vendor partners, everybody at all the credit unions. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday for our 3rd episode of Marketplace Monday. Have a great week.